Hey guys, thank you for joining me for Walking with the Word. Check out this cutie up here. We're actually here at the Yorkshire Wildlife Park too. We're in the lemur enclosure, so I might actually have a lemur come and say hello too. But today I wanted to talk about a scene from a film. It's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now I don't know if you've seen the film or not. If you haven't, don't worry, I'll try and explain the scene. I think it's spiritually significant. I think it's a really profound scene in its own way. So basically Indiana Jones has got this ancient manuscript with a picture of this kind of person walking across this chasm, but there's no bridge below him. He just kind of seems to be suspended in midair. And on his mission, on his adventure, he is confronted with this massive drop, and he knows that if he falls down this chasm, it's going to kill him. But it's got this document, he's looking at it, and the picture is of a man just walking across, suspended in midair. So Indiana Jones believes that there's a bridge there, an invisible bridge, but he is in this dilemma of whether to take the walk across this chasm. Do you trust that there is going to be a bridge there, and if there is it going to be able to hold up? And Indiana Jones, of course, being the brave, adventurous type, begins to walk out over this chasm, and this amazing scene where he's basically suspended in midair as he's walking across this chasm, and the bridge holds up, and every step of the way he's okay, he doesn't fall down. And I think this is a really profound picture of what it is sometimes to have faith, what it is to walk with God. Paul puts it this way. He says that, hey my love, hey, well, we found one cheeky monkey anyway. So the Bible puts it this way. It says that we walk by faith and not by sight. And sometimes it can be like this, where we take these steps and we go out and there's just this thing holding us up, and we don't know how or why. The ends don't add up, and every single step of the way we have to trust in faith that there's something going to be there in the next step. And I want to talk through the psychological process of fears that you go through when you walk in faith in this way, because your very first thing to do as you step towards the side of this chasm is to look in front of you and see the drop. There's that immediate fear. It's like if this doesn't work, this will kill me. This is terrifying. But he's got the evidence, the indication that it should work, but he's going to have to put it to test. At some point he's going to have to move out there and shift his weight and take that first step. And it's like that in faith sometimes. God has a calling on our lives. He's calling us to live boldly, dangerously, profoundly, and we have to take that first step. We have to shift our weight. We have to make decisions which have a high consequence. They're in some ways irreversible, and if they go wrong, we're going to find ourselves falling. I think someone may just have fallen asleep. Has he fallen asleep? It looks a bit like it. But there's that point where you have to kind of shift your weight. You have to take that step, and you have to trust that something's going to hold you up. And the great thing is, when you walk in faith with Jesus, it always works. He always holds you. In some ways, it looks like the biggest risk you could take, to step out in faith, to shift your weight, to move out over this chasm. But when Jesus is the one who's holding you up, when he is the one who's supporting you, it's much less of a risk than you might think. In fact, you're in very, very safe hands. He cares for you, he'll provide, he'll support you, he'll sustain you. So this idea of stepping out and shifting your weight, it can feel scary. But once your foot hits that bridge, once you realise Jesus sustains, supports, provides, that's when the strength comes. That's when you're like, whoa, this is working. And then you take the next step. Whoa, this is still working. And the next step. And guess what happens? As you take each step of faith, it becomes easier and easier to walk in faith and trust it's going to hold up each and every step of the way. Jesus puts it this way. He says, he who has, to him more will be given, but he who does not have, even what he thinks he has, will be taken away from him. I think this is an illustration of how faith has this kind of self-perpetuating effect. It kind of encourages us to keep walking, and the more we see faith works, the more we see the bridge holds up and we're supported, the more we can just trust in God and stay calm and stay safe and just stay in his plans and provision, knowing that each step of the way he's going to provide and support us. Now I'm curious to see if we can see any cheeky monkeys around to show you. I think they're currently sleeping just on top of that roof over there. I'd love to show you them, but we may not get to, so instead you've got this little cutie to have a look at. Let's see if he's asleep. Yep, he's asleep. So thank you for joining me today. God bless you guys. Keep walking, trust. If you're being called onto an invisible bridge, if you're being called to cross a chasm, if you're being called out of the norm, it may seem unsafe, it may seem scary, but really it's the safest thing you can do, because you are in the hands of Jesus Christ, the provider, the sustainer, the supporter. So yeah, we're gonna head off. I'll see if we can see any cheeky monkeys over here. Just see if we can see the ringtail lemurs. Can you see them up on the roof? No. There's only one cheeky monkey just over there. So there he is. Anyway, God bless you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.